Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not do Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Yo, comentando, ¿qué dicen? Sí, ¿qué cuentan? Ya, escúchame, ya. Los medios cuentan que si hay libertad de prensa, la mordaz es cosa escasa y todos dicen lo que piensan. Y esa sutil es impresa y repetida diariamente tiene contenta tu mente con yo soy combate y fiesta. Presta el control, Tarantino no es tan gore como los crímenes de amor que a toda hora se nos muestra. Pues tal vez la estrategia impuesta, pánico en el público y manejarás el cuesta pal. Político en vez de patrullas se pide camilla para un hospital, como si esa mierda de tombo no diera seguridad. No será casualidad que el otro dueño del canal sea el cerro sobrino pero bueno de un primo hermano pariente papá. Que se nota el que no es noticia, su codicia se evidencia. Propicia violencia y plástico, panémicas, belleza. Fútbol, patriotismo, falso, culo, vasos de cerveza. Pele cáncer pa' tu mesa y el domingo en misa pesa. Sobre su cabeza pesa el atraso mental del pueblo. Oposición vendió trasero, dictador, grupo Romero. Pero se confundieron acá, la palabra es cruda. Autoeducación en camino se afloja la lucha a través de cultura. Es como genera de uno, tal vez otro loco se suma. Ya saben, cortina de humo que explota la mina que mata la cuna. Primo, vengo que trate la freuna, no una pura canción que me dura. Así no censura, emite basura, no le conviene que sepa verdura. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en milis para que vivan en la fantasía y algún día cambiará. ¿Qué? Hay extorsiones, robo, violaciones, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en milis para que vivan en la fantasía y algún día cambiará.
Sensacionalismo, amigo eterno de la prensa, el mismo que forjó al humano sumiso, callado y muestra. En el noticiero, en el artículo del diario, la vida de una PD que poco invierte
al vecindario.
Sirven como fieles feligreses a oscuro interés, mienten todo el día, crían, crean solo estupideces. La historia afirma, indica que siempre negaron información alternativa que todo pueblo merece. A cada instante pareciera su labor asesinar una memoria colectiva que hace una nación, con una prensa cómplice que juega con humor, desconociendo ese dolor que nos dejó ese dictador. Cortina de humo es su mejor función, para apartarte de la fuente harán de todo, pues miró hoy como venderte el culo de Sharon Stone, cagándose en tu derecho a la objetiva información. El narco, el almirante, el presidente, el congresista, algún ministro, algún delegado, de seguro es el patrón de ese periódico morboso y amarillo que al leerlo 2 minutos te vuelve en un show. Los medios son culpables, responsables de toda propaganda basura que te ofrece la TV. Pues será mejor que se autoeduque, pues my friend, porque el comercio de los medios te carcome hasta las 100.
Hay violaciones, extorsiones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en milis para que vivan en la fantasía y algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en milis para que vivan en la fantasía y algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará. Que algún día la cambiará.
CPF.
Hey, Shalom family. Yo. What up? What up, brothers or sisters? I'm not sure if you're still there, Meshi or Mesh, but Shalom, bro. Discúlpame, man. Te debo un mensaje y grandes disculpas, my brother, que no te he respondido. Okay, so that's on me, bro. But I have been very busy lately since I moved over here. Anyhow, fam, as you can see the title. And by the way, the other day, as you know, whoever watches my channel, I typically don't put the link up. I was really doing it to like chat with y'all because I was going to do something different. But apparently the Most High has different directions and instructions for all of us. So that was mine. Anyhow, today is going to be a straight session. Stick around. Friends, foes, whichever one you want. Hey, listen, man, you're going to have to learn something. And what I'm going to bring is going to be facts. It's not emotions. It's like the title, you know, I stick to this, fam. You know what I'm saying? I like to, as like one of the brothers said, you know, I coined something, I guess. I like to coin this right here. Facts tell, stories sell. Just like Nate the Snake. Yeah, I was the first one to call him that. All right. Oh, and those famous arm bracers that you Canaanites love. Yeah, I came up with that design too. Yeah, let IUIC know. Anyhow, that's just carnal stuff. But look, listen, the important thing is the book of our Father. That's what really matters today, fam. Because through that book, we're actually finding out who we are according to the Bible, regardless of what people say. Doesn't matter. They can say what they want to say. I'm me personally, man. I am not one to try to convince you because I don't really care whether you believe or not. I've never been one to force people to believe something. What I always have been, I've always been very logical. I bring facts, and that's it. Whether they affect me as well, it is what it is, man. That's the way I've always dealt with myself and with people. Let's read this. Romans 3, verse 3. It says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?" So, like, you know, if they don't believe, does that take the power of God or his prophecy, you know, from it? God forbid, yea, let God be true. But every man, let me repeat that, but every man a liar, as it is written. Okay? So keep that. Let me finish it. That thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome them that art judged. Perfect example, because lots of people come to this channel, and as you can see, they adamantly believe who they are and judging as in this particular power as like, anyways, I don't want to get into that. Let's get into the class, fam. Let's get into the class. Let's start, man. I'm excited for this class because I called it the Great Migration for a particular reason. Okay. It's not just because. So, first, I do want to say this, family. I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a kind of long class. All right. So shalom, Shabbat to all of you, brothers and sisters out there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shalom, Rich. Appreciate you, brother. North Carolina, what's up? This could be a longer class, and honestly, it's my Sabbath, bros and sis, because you know what I'm saying. You know how I roll. You know, I keep the lunar. Again, I'm not trying to impose my will upon you guys, man. I give you what I understand with the milk beings, the history, and all that. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life as best as you can. I'll call it out. If we communicate like some of the brothers I talk to, yeah, I'll call it out. But if not, I can do it as best as I can is bring the word to you. So now, I want to bring this up because this is important. You see, it's never changed for us, man. And, you know, when somebody's asking you, brothers and sisters, like, prove to me that you're in the Bible. I mean, for God's sakes, man. Just what book tells everybody? You know, if you don't fit all of these curses, technically the Bible says you're not a Hebrew. And a lot of people don't fit all the curses, family. Some of them fit 25% of them. I mean, 50% of the curses. And they call themselves Hebrews. It says Republican senators want feds to explain losing 85,000. Okay, 85,000. Seriously? I mean, come on, man. 85,000 migrant kids. That's why they're making this movie called God, man, Freedom. Which I'm gonna go see it. I'm interested in seeing it. So a Republican individual is interested to find out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of undocumented minors who were placed with sponsors after crossing the border, raising fears that they might have trafficked for cheap labor, which we know that that's technically what's usually happening anyways. It's not unfamiliar. It's not new to us. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to turn on the video today, fam, because the camera dies on me every now and then. I really don't want to get up and turn it back on, man. I don't give a damn about that, bro. I'm not trying to be... My face is not important. You know what I'm saying? This is important. Our history, our book. Anyhow, so it says that the Department of where am I at? Accompanied minors who were placed with sponsors after crossing the border. Okay, fine. 85,000 people. Wrap your minds around that. 85,000 children. Hey, shalom, Solomon. 85,000 children, fam. Do you realize that, you know, it took a couple to create that child? Obviously. Do you think that these kids have siblings, fathers, mothers, uncles, grandfathers, all of that stuff? Do you think it doesn't matter? 85,000 people, 85,000 children affected a bunch of people. So now she's saying, I want answers. It says here, the FBI must mount a full-scale effort to locate these missing children and to bring to justice the criminals who are holding them in modern-day slavery. Like you care. You passed these laws. You're still supporting it. You're a Republican. Your man is in Florida doing what he can. And you got Fulios now trying to go to Texas doing the same thing. Go figure, right? As you can see, family, right there, look. Somebody next time tells you, prove you are in the book. Show me in the Bible. It's one verse, man. Deuteronomy 20:32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. Now, we've seen several reports where our gente, they're crying. They're in jail because they've separated them from the children, and they're crying like children, like grown men, because they can't do anything. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, because your ass is in jail, pinche mexicano, porque eres un ilegal, right? Like these Canaan. Oh, I'm gonna call them Africans today, because I don't want to. They get offended if I call them Canaanites. So I'll say because these Africans and Europeans. That's why they're passing these laws. Here we see, even with a glimpse of what's going on in the news, family, your life is here, and it's perpetual. Verse 46 says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign, for thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Until when? Until verse 1 happens. And then obviously before that, you know, First Kings and all, they're repenting. That's a different route. You guys get the picture. Let's go to Luke 17 now. All right. So before I get started, I do want some scriptures to come out here real quick, because I want you guys to understand why I do this. And it's not for clout chasing. As you can see, there's no money needed here in this channel. We don't ask for no donations. I want some tickets for $300 because I'm going to go fly to some I don't know, some camp, but they're just going to lie and yell at people with no actual good fruits of education, of real growth, of spiritual growth that we all need, fam. Y'all know me. You've been watching my channel for some time. You know, Solomon, man. I want to teach about these other things. Spirit is leading me a different route. But Luke 17:20 reads like this. Luke 17:20 reads like this. It says, and when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of God shall come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation. You see, that's what I mean, family. Each one of us has to put a effing break in this, man. We have to really pick up this book and really, really actually ask our brothers around us. Because look, man, I put the channel. I'm sorry. Ooh, I don't even have that. I put this contact information. Y'all can send me emails. You know what I'm saying? If you have questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Because the kingdom of God doesn't come from observation. It doesn't come from you living with your parents because they're keeping the laws, or you with your husband and he's cool. You got to do them too. You got to understand that this does not come from us just watching other people. You got to actually do the work. Look, I'm going to tell you something, family, and I'll say it again. I'll make it quick. In those years that I was in particular school, I really studied, man. I was a rigorous student. Day and night, I was studying, especially the milk. I never got away from it. So for me, I understand what this means, because the moment I take my foot off the pedal, man, I understand something's not right. 2 Timothy 3:1. Watch. I'm gonna get started. Watch what it reads. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Now, I'm reading this because how in the world are you going to know who these people are, or who's holding these type of spirits? Because we each individually deal with this crap. We're not independent from it. Hey, shalom, bro. What was that, man? Those two pictures you showed on Facebook, they're really, yeah, right. It was scary, brother. It was scary. I know it's like regeneration all over again. And I don't know about the whole, looking alike thing, but damn, that was close. Anyhow, it says here. So again, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Here, it does tell us one thing though. For men shall be lovers of themselves, men of the world, not the Most High, the children of the Most High. You guys have standards. Here's telling us all the nation is going to be wicked and they're going to be this way. But how do you determine and discern a spirit if you ain't even putting the brick in to learn the scriptures? We're understanding who these enemies are that come on at random, like even if you have a channel, they come on a random, like, hey, you're a heathen. Okay, fine, I'm a heathen. So what? I'm going to keep the laws. It's not going to change my attitude. I'm not gonna go break the commandments. Oh God, I'm gonna go eat pork now because he called me a Mexican and he doesn't believe I'm a Hebrew. Man, the hell with you, bro. I really, honestly, that's how I roll. That's how we all should roll. Because why? Because in this world, we're gonna be around people without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers. These are gonna be your enemies. These are gonna be the people around you in the world and within our organization. Let's say, for example, our school or our family, or the so-called Israelites that say they're your brethren and they're waiting to backstab you. Because I know that I experienced that. Not necessarily with what I used to think was my nation. Anyhow, let's continue. Traitors. Heady, high-minded, and we see that a lot. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Now, why did I use this? And why did I use this scripture? Because the ending is the most important part. Lovers of themselves more than God. What do we see now in other people's actions? Don't we see other people wanting to see themselves? They need the image of themselves to repent. Brother, man, if you already know you've done a lot of crap, bro, I think the last thing you need is an image. Straight up. That's just me. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Which is the power? Wisdom. Because the only way you actually understand any of the scriptures, Psalms 111 and 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear. So you damn right I should know how I'm talking to people and what I'm actually sharing and teaching. Because if I'm not doing the right thing, I'm gonna get I'm dead. So when I say having a form of godliness, it also means another thing, family. And then I'm gonna jump on my topic after these verses. Okay? Having a form of godliness. So I'm just gonna say this: 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. And al quien le quede el zapato, que se lo ponga. If you guys know what I'm saying. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ, the Messiah. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness. You see that, family? So just because they come across acting like they're righteous, they're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, we keep the laws of God, 2 Timothy 3:5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, for such turn away. So as long as I understand that way, that spirit, how that moves, brother, I ain't getting close. And I think I had the wisdom of Solomon. Man, I had a wisdom of Solomon. Don't tell me, man. Oh, man, don't tell me I lost that scripture. Is it 13? Literally don't hide the riches. No, become. Never cause to become. There he goes, right here. Because check this out, fam. As I mentioned before, Luke 17, right? Let's go back to Luke 17, just so you can follow my point. Follow my point. Where? Luke 17. Here we go. It says here. Verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation. Not with observation. So then I consider my ways. I think about my path. I try to meditate, or I should say, examine myself often. I need to work on my prayer. I ain't gonna lie, but I do keep this in mind, family. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 13 says, I learn diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of God. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm trying to be. So what I'm learning, what the Most High is giving to me, I'm going to give it to you guys. Being commended for the gifts that cometh from learning. Wait a minute. You think it actually takes learning, right? Yeah, it takes learning, real intent. You really have to care about your people, that you really want to teach them something. It ain't about trying to take something from somebody. Family, I'm going to tell you something right now. And all the brothers and sisters that are watching, if whoever they watches later, we are the Israelites of the Bible. We know that. We feel that way. We think that. We believe that. We done our studies, right? But are we telling people not to keep the laws of God? I mean, anybody here on the chat, just what? Are we telling them, nah, don't keep the laws? Hell no, man. Go and keep them. By all means. Please do. That don't make you an Israelite, but it'll make you civil. Aren't we the light of the world, the example to be? Why the hell are we over here trying to point the finger and say, nah, you can't do it? You go and claim that they're going to be your slaves, but then you say that your slaves are going to keep the laws because you're going to force them to keep the laws, but then you have a problem with them keeping the laws now? Go figure. So I take this in consideration. For God has granted me to speak as I would and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given to me. This is my lot, this historical aspect, this side that I know. So when you're going to try to come to my world and think you're going to debate your butt through me, you have no clue my background. And no, I'm not a damn agent. I'm just a smart so-called Mexican. Thank God he gave me a brain. And we're all not dumb just because you think we're burros. I know when you use the word Mongols, it's to offend people. But as a matter of fact, I don't take it offensive no more, family, because this class is going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay? It says here, now, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directed the wise. So I don't care what y'all say. I don't care if you come to our channel and don't believe. It don't matter. Because I didn't go to no school. I didn't go to no church. I wasn't no Christian pastor, nothing. I'm a bottom barrel alcoholic that at any time, if I pick up a drink again, I can go back to drinks, which is why I'm sober. That's what I am. So y'all can say whatever you want, You don't believe us? You don't think so? Whatever, man. And you say, oh, we don't see people waking up. You see, the word of God is not boastful. It's not proud. It's not covetous. Like the scripture said, you don't pray in everybody, right? Yes, brother, stay sober for sure. The scripture said, when you pray, don't pray in front of people. So if you believe in the Most High, do we have to show it off? No, man. You have no idea. He looks at that more than anything because he's the one watching. So now let's start off with this. Okay, so I want to make this very clear, fam. I want to establish this path or this route. I want to make sure that I root, that I plant these, that I dig through this dirt and plant this root right now, so we can make sure that we answer any maybe pending questions as we follow through this path. Okay, because what you need to understand, the Bible talks about about us. That's it. They don't mention other nations, right? Of course it will, but that relates to it. But we also have to understand that there's a bigger, platform that we have to study. Not everything that goes around the world is in the Bible. Hello. So let's find out. Now, this isn't a knock on anybody from the kingdom of Cush. You brothers that believe who you are, know that you are actually from the kingdom of Cush. I'm just bringing up an example of what went on at a period of time because I'm trying to establish an understanding of my class. All right. So let's go. Yeah. All right. We're going to go to about the 2 minute or something. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to say something and then we'll continue. I just want to make sure that we understand who they are, the kingdom of Cush, right? When they established their pharaoh leadership, that stuff. Again, I'm not arguing of when, who, what they look like. I don't care. What I'm talking about is who was there at that time of these years. All right, let's go.
Libya, Syria. The ancient Egyptians built one of the greatest empires in history, and despite facing many difficulties, managed to maintain their sovereignty over almost the entire Nile River Valley. But Africa has always been a gigantic continent, inhabited by many different peoples. Some wanted to conquer the fertile lands of Egypt. Kingdoms and tribes with origins in Libya, Syria, and Turkey were constantly fighting against Egypt. But there were a people whose tenacity and courage frightened even the powerful Egyptians. The Nubians were an African people.
Now, I want to point out this map, okay? Remember this map, what he's talking about. See, you see Egypt, you see Nubia, right? You see this river. Okay, let's continue.
Who lived in the Nubia region in
Thank you, brother.
today's Sudan. The Nubian people have been living in that region for a long time. By 3100 BC, there would be Nubian villages along the River Nile.
3100 BC, okay? Let's go.
During much of their history, the Nubians did not develop any writing.
All right, and again, I'm not here to argue imagery, but you guys can tell for yourselves. You decide who those people are. All right, let's go. Because I don't think these guys are Egyptians. Not these guys right now. All right, let's go.
Much of what we know about them is in the records left by the Egyptians.
And this is, he said, about 300 BC, if I'm not mistaken, or a little bit way before that. Let's go.
The Nubia was a region rich in gold veins, semi-precious stones, ebony wood, incense, and ivory. This wide range of resources encouraged the Egyptians to invade that region in search of extremely useful raw materials. The Nubians resisted the Egyptian invasions as much as possible.
You guys heard that. The Nubians resisted the invasion. So there was battle between them going on at this time. Okay, let's continue.
But they were militarily inferior and were progressively pushed south. Due to the various periods of instability in Egypt, the Nubians were able to organize more effective defenses. During periods of peace, Nubians and Egyptians traded and shared different forms of knowledge. During the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose I, the Nubians were part of the Egyptian Empire, but that
The Nubians were part of the Egyptian Empire. So remember how it says that Egypt was north, Nubia was south, right? Okay, so it was a pretty vast, expansive space, or expansive land or yeah, I know what I mean. Let's go.
dominion quickly collapsed, and the Nubians established a unified kingdom, with Napata as its capital. The Nubians thus founded the Kingdom of Kush.
See right there? Okay, Kingdom of Kush, Egypt. So we see what's going on here. Let's go.
Which would become a respected African power. The term Kushite kingdom comes from the Egyptians, who called the Nubian Kush. The founder of this new kingdom was a tribal leader named Alara, who became king of all the Nubians. With the Kushite kingdom established, the next step was to ensure its defense and economy. For this, Alara's successors reigned successfully, strengthening the kingdom and expanding their domains. The Kushites began to trade with Egypt through the Nile. They also established contact with the Arab kingdoms such as Nabatea and Sheba. The riches of the Kushites were extremely popular. Their leaders, priests, and even farm animals, like horses, were always embellished with pieces of gold and rubies. Over time, and due to the periods of instability in Egypt, the Kushites started to conquer Egyptian cities, including the city of Thebes. At the height of their power,
Okay, so what I'm trying to show here, as you can see, the relationship between them two, back and forth, Egypt and Nubia. From my understanding, and it's very clear, it's very unstable. Correct? Very unstable. You know what I mean? Okay, just I want to make a point. Now, remember what he said, Nabatea and Sheba. Just don't forget that. I'll touch it later. But I want to show this too as well. Give me a second. Remember, I'm trying to establish something here. I'm not saying I'm an expert of this, not at all. And I'm not trying to change anybody's history. I'm not saying this is our people. All I'm trying to point out is this period of time right here. Okay? So we're looking at Sate period or Sate period. I don't know how you say it. Excuse me if I get it wrong. When the Assyrians withdrew, this is from metmuseum.org. Okay, right there, the metmuseum.org. Says, when the Assyrians withdrew after their final invasion, 664, Egypt was left in the hands of Sate kings, though it was actually only 656 BC that the Sate ruler Samtik I, or the first, was able to resort control over the southern area of the country. Okay, so now we're just kind of pointing this, I'm just kind of pointing this out, but I want to get to my point here real quick. Here goes. Egypt's new Persian overlords adopted the traditional title of pharaoh, but unlike the Libyans and Nubians before them, they ruled as foreigners rather than Egyptians. For the first time in 2,500 years, a nation, Egypt, was no longer independent. Though recognized as an Egyptian dynasty, Dynasty 27, I'm sorry, the Persians ruled through a resident governor called satrap, helped by local native chiefs. Persian dominated actually benefited Egypt under Darius, who built temples, publics. Okay, so why am I bringing this up? All right, remember, I'm showing you something. Give me a second here real quick. Wait, is this it? Or is this the same one? Oh, no, it's the same one. So as you can see, after Darius took over, that's when Egypt began to what? Grow. So it's telling me that that's when Persia started governing or taking over the area of Egypt. Prior to that, they weren't there yet. All right. So now I'm going to point this out. Oh, sorry. Wrong one. And I'm trying to point this out, fam, because this is around the year 5. Well, when the 10 tribes were carried away, or not only carried away, but when they were basically left. So for about 538 BC, around this time, okay? The Kushite civilization continued several centuries throughout the Satrap, Persian, Ptolemaic, and Roman periods. Okay, so as you can see, Where are we at? What am I looking for? Where is it at, man? How come I always lose it when I look for it? Give me a second, family. What am I looking for? Hold on. Just a second. Kingdom of Kush, 26th Dynasty. Well, let's see. 52 BC, day 4. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to show you this real quick. Wait. I didn't send it to myself. Give me a second, family. I got a picture to show you guys. I thought I did. I guess I didn't. Yeah, I did. Oh, here it goes. There. All right. This is from the Conscience Dictionary of Ancient History. Give me a second. And I'm going to show you what it says about Cyrus. Okay. This is from this book, fam. Conscious Dictionary of Ancient History, all right? This is regarding the definition of Cyrus, or who he is. It says here, and I hope you guys can see it. Let me make that bigger. It reads, the elder surnamed the great king of Persia, the founder of Persian Empire. According to his own statement in an inscription on the cylinder discovered in the ruins of Babylon, he was the son of Cambyses, the son of Cyrus, the son of Taipis, the son of Achaemenes, I guess. Cyrus overthrew Astyages in 549 BC. Okay. United Media and Persia. Remember that. Transferring the capital from Ecbatana to Susa. Afraid of his growing power, Clovis of Lydia and Nabonidus of Babylon and Amasis of Egypt combined against him. Cyrus overthrew Croesus in 546 BC, making himself master of the coast of Asia Minor. Babylon fell to him in 539 BC without a blow. He was killed in 529 BC while fighting nomads. Then it says the younger second son Darius, king of Persia, plotted against his brother, the reigning monarch Artaxerxes Menemon, who forgave him, restoring the satrap the coast of Asia Minor. But in the spring of 401 BC, he raised an army against Artaxerxes and was killed in the battle of Kuna Shah. The point is, between this time and this time, 546 to 529, to see King Cyrus, right? We're starting to kind of get a picture here, right? In about 539 BC, Babylon falls to Media-Persia Empire. 529 BC, Egypt falls to the Media-Persian Empire. So technically, the Persian Empire was only in Egypt after we left those lands. Okay? I want you to keep mindful of that. Now, this is important to understand, because in case you guys don't really know history or the way that, wars, are I guess, how people deal with each other with war. It's clear to me that if there's some kind of friction still going on, well, I'd be cautious, especially if I'm not from that region. So now, this region here, this map, all right? Let me see if I can magnify it. You don't need to magnify it. So this is Cyrus Empire, Persia Mede, okay? From all the way up here, India, all across. Now, if you read Josephus, is it Josephus? No. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember which one. But it talks about how much he conquered. Okay, but as you can see, he's still here. All right, keep that in mind. He's still there. I have the map. Why am I looking at it like that? Let's see. Hold on. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you that one. And you guys see the other one. So you see the one before. That used to be when Cyrus was ruling. This is when Darius was ruling. Okay? So when Cyrus was ruling is when we became free. All right? Keep that in mind. Let me close this real quick. I want you guys to keep that in mind. Don't forget the points that I'm bringing. The nations that were ruling or the nations that were against each other at that time. Let me see if this is another picture. Okay, check this out. This was the kingdom of Persia and Persian Medes, the Persian Medes, King Cyrus. Remember Egypt and the Nubians. At this time, they were still going back and forth with each other. If I'm not mistaken, Nubia was around 600. I think we read it 600 BC, somewhere around that time. Then we went into Egypt. Not that many years from the point that I'm trying to make, because you guys know where I'm going. But before we move forward, I just want to show you some verses, okay? Because I think you guys are starting to see the picture. Hopefully you're following me, because remember, we need to use maps, we need to use history, and especially the Bible, because without it, there's no truth. Anybody could lie to you and give you any kind of history. They tell you enough, you'll believe it. Damn it. Damn it. You guys are Aztecs. We are. But anyhow, Psalm 72 and 8 says, he shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth, that they that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the, what am I supposed to read? Where am I at? And the enemies, and his enemies shall lick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents, and the kings of Sheba and shall offer gifts. Now, kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I told you about these two people, this name, Sheba. And you see, a lot of times people try to say, oh, because of Sheba or Ethiopia. So which one is this one? Is it Sheba Ethiopia or Sheba Africa? Who's going to bring gifts? I'm reading this because check this out. 2 Chronicles 14 and 9. It says, and there came out against them Zerah the Ethiopian with a host of 1,000 and thousands and 300 chariots, and came unto Marashah. Okay? This was around when? 900 BC, I believe. But again, why am I bringing this up? Watch this. Let's continue reading. Then Asaph went out against him, and they set in the battle array in the valley of Zephathath at Marashah. And Asaph cried unto the Lord his God and said, Lord, it is nothing with thee to help, whether with many or with them that have no power. Help us, O Lord our God, for we rest on thee. In thy name we go against this multitude, O Lord. Thou art our God. Let no man prevail against thee. Okay? You guys follow? Let's go to read 13. So Lord smote the Ethiopians before Asaph and before Judah. And the Ethiopians fled. And Asa and the people that were there, that were with him, pursued them unto Gerar. And the Ethiopians were overthrown, and they that could not recover themselves, for they were destroyed before the Lord and before his host, and they carried away very much spoils. So we see here that at one point we were also against them too, and they came against us. We're starting to see some clarity here. So much of goodly neighbors, right? They don't seem friendly to me. Verse 14, and they smote all the cities around Gerar, for the fear of the Lord came upon them, and they spoiled all the cities, for there were exceeding much spoils in them. As you can see, they spoiled all the cattle and all that. But they were against us. And you'd have Egypt, Ethiopia, or Nubia, or Africa, however you want to, or Northeast Africa. But we see now that Persia wasn't necessarily friends with them. Now, this is from Geography Rectified, or a description of the world in all its kingdoms, provinces, and countries. As it's a very long name, fam. And I'm only going to bring this up for the purpose of again, I'm trying to establish something here. And it's basically order, right? We do things decently and in order. It says here on page 5, according to the greater integrators, according to the greater integrating parts thereof, the ancients divided the whole earth into 3 great parts: Europe, Asia, and Africa. So now this brings me to the other point that I'm basically trying to make. Why do we have people that want to use the book of our father only to for a narrative? You see, there's certain people that claim to believe in jubilees, and they ignore what jubilees actually says, that they were divided in 3s. Okay? But yet now they want to twist the scriptures. So let's continue reading. It says, ancient divided the whole earth into 3 parts: Europe, Asia, and Africa, to which is now added a 4th. America, there are again divided in provinces. So as you can see, America is the 4th part. The 4th part. Okay? So then now, again, Revelation. This is easy, family. You should know this, I think. Revelation 6 and 8. It says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with a sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So we know now that these people, this death, was going to be in this land. You see, it's all prophetic, family. So let's continue. Okay? Now that I have a better idea, now that you guys understand what I'm talking about, hopefully. So let me make it clear one last time. Let me just make it clear one last time, because I don't want nobody to get confused here. Let's be frank, man. There was a time where you guys all knew that this was the way it was. Right? Shem, Japhet, Europe, Africa, Ethiopia. These are old maps. These are old maps. Look, they even want to use this one. I'll show it. I'm not afraid. Right? They have Japhet, Shem, Africa, Edom, but yet Edom is with Ham. You read Jubilees, but that you ignore that Canaan wasn't supposed to be in Jerusalem. So how do you argue that? His ass should have been over here. So you can't pick and choose scriptures at all. Just like you can't say Deuteronomy 28 applies to you when you can only apply 50% of the scriptures. Because as far as I know, well, I don't want to get to that point because that's not our topic. But look, why are we ignoring this? 3rd parts. This is Asia, India. This is Africa. This is Europe. All of a sudden, they want to twist it around and say, here, this is over here and we're over there. Or now America is Egypt. Come on, man. Are we going to be silly now? All of a sudden, we have big books in history that tell us. So the reason I'm bringing Cyrus and all these maps here to show y'all something, okay? Look at Shem, Ham, and all that. Because this wasn't belonging to his ass. Canaan, you shouldn't have never been there, okay? That's clear. That's why did the Most High only move your ass? The reason I'm not trying to get off topic. The reason I'm showing these maps, fam, is because I want you to know where you at. Come on, man. Give it to me. No, not this one. I'll give you this one. I'm going to use this as we go further. Hold on. I'll use this. Okay. If you guys recall, Egypt was here. Okay. Or Egypt is here. Nubia is here. Right? The Kush, kingdom of Kush. All of this territory. When King Cyrus was king, he was king of not this territory, but this territory. Okay? Remember that. Now we're going to get into, of course, Second Esdras. And I'm going to explain it. Pretty much this is the way that many people do, but I'm going to clear it up a little more. Give you guys some scriptures to write it down. But let's watch this real quick. I like this video, man. It never gets old. I like it. It never gets old for me. I think it's interesting. Let's go.
Why do you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only two ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
How can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. We are burning people for less. The men you're about to confront.
Well, we know that part. That's like, yeah. We are first like somebody telling us, "Oh my God, I didn't know that, man. That's so cool." Yeah. That's cool. It's a good memory to come up on every now and then. Anyhow, Deuteronomy 33:17, fam. I want to make sure that we establish and don't pass anything up. Deuteronomy 33:17. My mouth is dry. Give me a second. Hold on. Deuteronomy 33:17 says, "His glory is like the firstlings of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them, he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000 of Ephraim and the 10,000 of Manasseh." And as you can continue reading, Zebulon, Gad, mentions Dan. But it's talking about pushing us to the end of the earth, right? Now, check this out. Baruch 4:6. I want you to pay attention why these things are in this book, or in our book, I should say that. Forgive me, Father, for saying that. Baruch 4:36. Watch what it reads, okay? It says, "O Jerusalem, look about thee towards the east. Behold the joy that cometh unto thee from God." So I'm going to tell you something. Where's the east, fam? Look towards the east, right? Behold. See, Jerusalem is a people before a city. Get that straight. Oh, people, mi gente, mira hacia el este. Behold the joy that cometh unto thee from God. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. What? They came gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoice in the glory of God. And you want to know something, family? Well, actually, I don't want to know, because that's driving me another topic. So as you can see here, gatherers. But he says, "Oh, gente, look to the east." Baruch 5:5. Watch what it says here. Next chapter. We'll continue. We'll keep going. It says, Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high and look about towards the east. Behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of God. You see, it is the word of God that's going to bring us back together. And I'm going to tell you something, fam. I've been reaching out to people from across those areas, and they've been reaching out to me. People that really want to keep the laws of God, that can legitimately say, yeah, we've been through that. They've been conquered. They've gone through this. They've gone through that. Okay, cool. Whatever. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm not God. I can't tell people, oh yeah, man, want to keep them all praises, bro, because at least we want a civil world. I'm tired of this damn wicked ass life, man. Yeah, if you could just keep all the laws of God, we'd be in such a better place. Anyhow, I just want to point out the fact from the east, he's going to gather us. He's going to gather us, right? And by the word of the Holy One, he is going to bring us to remembrance of God. So then this is why we have to look towards these directions. That's why I presented these classes. To me, this is one of my favorite classes, fam. So first of all, let's go to here. I'm going to establish this real quick. So we talked about the years of Persia, Mede, Cushites, Egyptians, and all that stuff, right? So remember, in 538 BC is when 538 BC is when the 10 tribes basically bounced, right around that time. Okay, so now let's go to 2 Kings first, real quick. I don't really want to read it. I kind of just want to give you the scriptures. 2 Kings 17, 5 and 6. As you can see here, Hosea reigns in Israel, and then the fall of Israel. Okay, so you can see that. So I'm going to summarize it because of time, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that. So remember this. I brought this up too regarding the Cushites and the Nubians because Assyria had actually conquered that part at that time, and then when Assyria fell, the Nubians gained power again, but not under Persia. Okay, so that's verse 6. It says, in the 9th year, Hosea, king of Assyria, took Samaria and carried away Israel unto Assyria, and placed them in Halah, and in a harbor by name of river of Gazan, and in the cities of the Medes. Okay. Now let's go to 2 Chronicles 36. It's pretty simple. That's chapter. Verse 22 and 23. Proclamation of Cyrus. So here it says very clear. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom. Remember that? His kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, thus said King Cyrus of Persia, all the kingdom of the earth has the Lord God of heaven given me. No, we know that it's not true because Egypt and Nubia were their own kingdoms. But he obviously meant it like, kind of like the house here. Whosoever wants the little bit of that chicken, you can have it. But everybody ain't going to have it. So he's understanding the kingdom of the earth, his kingdom, all that region. He didn't care about Africa. The God of heaven had given to me. And he had charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah, who is there among you of all his people. So here we see the proclamation of King Cyrus that throughout all this kingdom, y'all are free to roam. Yes, we see that here in Ezra's. Real quick. Chapter 1. Man, stop it, man. Ezra chapter 1, verse 2. Thus say Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord had given heaven, the Lord of heaven had given me all the kingdom of the earth. And he had charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all this people? His God be with you. Let him go up with Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is God, which is in Jerusalem. And it says, and whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourned, let the man of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods and with the beast, besides the free will offering for the house of God in Jerusalem. For the house of God is in Jerusalem. Okay. So now we're seeing this like, oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So now let me give you an example of what we're talking about. You see, so Persia, we saw the map of Persia, right? Hold on. Persian Empire. I'll just show you this one before. This was after Cyrus died with Darius, after Darius' reign. But Cyrus was in charge of all this territory here. So when Cyrus says, you are free to roam in my kingdom, and wherever you are in this kingdom, right? Let the people help you. Let them help you with gold and with silver and with food. So now let's paint the picture, fam. You had Egypt and you have the Nubians over here, still at war. There's nothing settled between them. If a king frees us, like gives us freedom, like for example, here in America, and Trump decides to give citizenship to all also called illegal brothers and sisters of ours, right? Like, hey, what those locals, whatever, you can roam wherever you want. You think that we're gonna stay in one place, bro? We're gonna be free to go. But the last thing we're gonna do is go where? To a kingdom that we don't belong in. Why would we go this way when these guys are not really settled in power? The Nubians and the Egyptians, we already went through slavery with them. And then think about it. Mothers, fathers, grandfathers, children, all of that stuff. Do you really think we're going to want to come back from the Niles and then the mountains and all the way over here? When we knew that they took us out already, and we understood that there were people in Samaria that were not our people because they replaced us, like here. So then what would we do? Well, let's continue. This is now what we get into Second Ezra. Okay? So now I don't lose you guys. Remember, this is why I was trying to show you guys that there were kingdoms at that time. Kingdoms that were not on our side. Kingdoms that were at war. Kingdoms that if we went into their territory, they'll slave your ass. Don't be stupid, yo. Don't be stupid. Come on, man. Let's be real. So now let's understand. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, king, whom Salmanassar, king of Assyria, led away captive and carried them over the waters. And so they came to another land. So let me show you. And I apologize for keep closing this one on you. I should just keep it open. So this is what he's talking about. Area, right here, into another land. Here's the Euphrates River, right? So obviously it's small to us, but it's huge. And it goes like this. So somewhere over here, right? Look at all these mountainous ranges. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue because I think we're understanding. Okay. Then it says, here, I'm going to read it over here. You guys have a Bible? I'm going to read it. So I'm going to show you. It says, and carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. So as we know, another land is what? Another territory, an unfamiliar region. Okay. But they took counsel among themselves. So now what happens here? This is when King Cyrus freed all Israel. So now, after they freed us, right? Or let's just say they freed them. I'll separate myself. They freed them. They took counsel among themselves. This is where Ezra's 1, 2, and 4 come in. As after they were free, they're like, you know what? I don't know, man. But they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen. Why? Because listen, brothers and sisters, we got Raza that's in California, Raza that's in Florida, New York. Hey, Salome, you know what's up? Raza that's in Chicago, up in Oregon, in Texas. We're everywhere. Kansas, Wisconsin, Oregon. We're everywhere. Okay? So I know, and migration is typical like that. So it says here, but they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth to a further country where never mankind dwelled. So now, if they know that mankind was dwelling here because the Cushites and the Egyptians were fighting amongst themselves, and obviously we understood of the Egyptian, world, right? The slavery. So then where? A further country where? Where never mankind dwelt. That there they might keep their statutes. Because you know why? Because if you recall, in this era here, in this time, in this location, if you consider India and all that, they got a lot of different religions. So just because they said Assyria here, Assyria was everywhere. Assyria was all over here. So it wasn't just there. It could have been here. It could have been there. And then when they freed us, it didn't just go overnight. It takes time. It takes a couple of years to people to be like, you know what, let's get out of here. So how do you know they didn't migrate this way or that way? Because there was a lot of religions in this land here, tons of them. But at the same time, don't forget, family, that King Cyrus was king of all of this land. So Israel was free to roam. You wouldn't leave America if Trump said you could walk freely. Now you're not an illegal. Hello, come on, man. Come on, people, come on. Why are they saying that we would be dumb enough to say, oh, let me just go into the Egyptians and Nubians because they're at war. I mean, shoot, they're not really in our land, but hey, might as well. Hey, you guys look friendly. Why not? Or, hey, let's just learn how to sail a boat around Africa. Now, the other excuse is that, oh, well, there's a lot of sections where Africa wasn't, was not found, but there's several territories that shows. Anyhow, that's another topic. So as you can see, Second Ezra, right? Wake up, Israel. Let's go. Let's continue. All right, hold on. I'm not done. Hold on. I'm not done. Okay, see, there it goes. I was showing you right there. That was perfect, but I closed it. Oh, well, too bad. So now let's go back to this right here. I think we can follow now. It says there, so they took this counsel, verse 41. So they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow place of the river. So now they're entering somewhere in a narrow place. So they're traveling somehow. Now, does it say they jumped on a boat? No. It says they just entered into the Euphrates River, the Euphrates, by the narrow place of the river. The narrow places of the river? You mean like by the side, by the bank? Riding down the river? Why didn't you just say, enter Euphrates on a boat down the river? No, it doesn't work that way. Things have to make sense. And I'm going to show you why. So when you cross here, let me give you the map real quick. Hold up. I almost forgot the map, man. I'm sorry. Here, hold on. There's a map. No, that's not the map I'm looking for. Oh, sorry, my bad. Look. This right here. So we left in verse 44. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. This is David Rumsey's map collection. As you can see, it's a pretty big river, It's right there. So then they entered the narrow passage of the river. Okay? And it says, for the Most High then showed signs for them. Okay? So if we pass here, we're already over here. Okay? Hold on. We're already over here. Coming across this way. They want to go to a further country where never mankind dwelt. Now we know that there was war, or at least some kind of rivalry going on here that would not make it easy for us to really feel comfortable crossing. So if never mankind dwelt meant this way, because it seems like history is showing us as we work further in, we see these maps, we see these locations, we see these names, and then we find stuff out like this, Arceus. Then it says, so for the Most High then showed them signs, meaning directions. Do you guys remember that when, let me see, where was it at? Let me see if I can remember it. Here, this one. Exodus 13:21. If you remember, it was something similar. Obviously, it doesn't say it there, but I'm going to bring some points. Exodus 13:21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. So here we see that the Most High can deal with us like that. So if he says here in 2nd Ezra 13:40, 44, for the Most High then showed signs for them, directions, where to go, and held still the flood. But see, they had already passed the river, right? Till they were passed over. So what is he talking about? For through that country there was a great way to go. Through that country. Namely, a year and a half. And that same region is called Arsareth. You see, region is not the actual country itself. It's a region of Arsareth. It's a region of Arsareth. So he leads us that way, shows us signs, then holds the floods till we pass over. Because this is a region of Arsareth. Arsareth is right here. Now, I don't want to use Deuteronomy 33:17 to talk about the unicorn pushing us to the ends of the earth, but I see a unicorn here, so it's like, that's kind of weird too. Okay? See, I'll show you what I'm talking about. In Deuteronomy 33:17 says this, and I'm not going to take it for what it is, but his glory is like the firstlings of the bullocks, and his horns are like the horns of a unicorn. With them he shall push them together to the ends of the earth. Finally, that it says a unicorn, and then Arsareth right there. Like, you gotta wonder, fam. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's another point. I'm not done yet. See, this is where other people stop. But let's continue. So then it says here, for through that country was a great way to go after they passed, namely a year and a half. And that same region is called Arsareth. I'm going to show you something real quick. I found this, and I found it because, hold on a second here real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second, fam. Let's see if I can pull it up. I took a picture. What? I didn't take a picture of it? I took a picture of a map that shows what he's talking about is like the migration. Here, let me see if I can send it. Hold on a second. Give me a second, fam. All right, here we go. Watch this. I sometimes don't like to bring stuff up because I don't want to cause more questions, but at the same time, you know, we got to face everything for what it is. And I'm not getting off topic either. So, you know, this is a book I found. A lot of interesting things in this book, but I find it very, very hold on. It's downloading now. Okay, here it goes. Yeah, let me see if I can download it and flip it around. Can I flip it around now? Oh yeah, I can. Watch this. See? The land of the Chesadine. You said Khazar. Talk about a possible route that we could have taken, right? That's the possible route they could have taken, supposedly. I'm going to show you a book that contradicts that too. And I believe we went this route more than that route. And I'm going to show you why. And as you can see, these guys know what's going on. They even call it the Mizraim, the bondage. The two great continents, North America, Etham, the wilderness, Baal Zephon, the land of the red man. The land of the red man. So be mindful of those things, family. Now, I'm going to show you this real quick. When you talk about verse 46, then dwelt they there until the latter times, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go, therefore, that they may go through. Therefore start thou the multitude with peace. So he says that we will come back and he's going to hold the floods again. You see, people want to say that it's the ice age or because the ice age, and there's no way you guys could walk over ice like that, dude. You'd freeze. If you're gonna freeze the sea like that, like the entire sea, are you crazy? You'd freeze. It's like being up in over there in Antarctica, bro. You got no boats and you don't have those type of tools to travel. I mean, they could barely travel. So verse 46 is telling us what? That the way that we came is the way that we're going to come back. Now, am I saying that's, it says here in the Bible. And it says here, but those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within thy borders. Let me read that part again. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude of peace. What happened? Se muere. What did it say, bro? Hold on. ¿Qué dijiste, bro? Let me hear. Se muere todo mundo si se frisa. Yeah, it's straight up, dude. That's it's easier to track groups, packs, than individuals. Migrations have no ironclad paths. Some left the state, yep. Others split, others passed. Aslan was abandoned via Sia. Some left behind. See, that's what I'm talking about. So you can't really say, and that's a good point. You can't really say that people are going to stay in one location. And then, like we will move around. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm a reasonable man. If I'm not legal in this country, so to speak, and I'm free to roam this country now, I'm not going to leave the country now because I'm free to roam freely here. I'm not going to go to another country where there's other laws. I'm not free there. I'm free here. That's my point. So why am I saying that we came to this route? So now I'm going to start showing you guys some of the stuff that I have found. Because this is to show you the most important thing, because a lot of us fell for this whole 12 tribe chart thing. That we went around Africa and, it's like, Joe, listen, man, I'm starting to really see that both of those nations really want what you guys have, family. Because remember, keep in mind, like this whole time, I just want to make this clear. The Cushites, Egyptians, they ruled in Africa, but not in the land of Shem. Okay? I'll read this real quick just so you guys can see, because, again, people cannot go and use the Bible, use the book, and then not bring up what it actually says. This is Jubilees chapter 9. It's giving you like the how he divided the nations. The verse 1 says, and Ham divided among his sons. The first portion came forth to Cush, for Cush towards the east, and to the west of him for Mizraim, and to the west of him for Put, and to the west of him, and to the west thereof, unto the sea for Canaan, meaning West Africa. And Shem also divided among his sons, and his first portion for Ham and his sons, to the east of Tigris River, till it approached the east, the whole land of India, and on the Red Sea, on its coast, and the waters of Dedham, and all the mountains of Mabri and Elah, and the lands of Susan, and all that is on the side of Fernach, to the Red Sea, and the rivers Tina, as you can see, Ashur and Arphasad. You can see that. And the land of the region of the Chaldees, to the east of the Euphrates. Remember that? You see? Why is this ignored? So all of a sudden now we can use this book for certain things, but not this. I don't understand why people, even if you're not of my nation, why would you fall for that? Really? The Israelites were free to roam here. They wouldn't go this way. Egypt and Nubia were at war. You guys got to really, really do your history. And you can't just base it off, I saw a YouTube video. You got to read it. Remember the video, right? With, Christopher Columbus, right? So remember, one thing I forgot, and I just saw the link now. I don't know why I forgot then. Keep in mind that he needed interpreters. And some of us know this already, right? 1492. This is from some random linguistic education online.com. It's pretty random, pretty general information. You guys should know this by now. Several books say this. In 1492, Christopher Columbus landing in Bahamas changed the world forever. It helped establish routes trades between North America and Europe and ushered a new age of voyage and discovery. Columbus brought Luis de Torres, an interpreter, with him during his first voyage. De Torres spoke Hebrew, Aramaic, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Latin, and some Arabic because he expected it to encounter Asians. So now I want to remember that too. Asians. You see people here like, oh, Asians, like Philip, like Asian people, like just remember. Columbus felt de Torres' proficiency in Hebrew and Aramaic would be particularly useful. Why would Asians speak Aramaic? Don't be fooled, family. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm going to bring up several points to start connecting the dots, okay? For one, I want to bring this up. For one, I want to bring this up because this is, I get tired of seeing this, man. And you guys are just walking over it. Look how many times Asia's mentioned. Acts 2:9 talks about the, when the tongues, right? When the brothers started speaking in tongues, like different languages. Acts 2 says, 2:9, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia. Then there arose a certain of synagogue, which is called the synagogue of Libertines and Cyrenians and Alexandrians, and of them of the Cilicia and them of the Cilicia and of Asia. The 12-tribe chart doesn't have no Asians in there. Now, when they had gone through Phrygia and regions of Galatia and were forbidden of the Holy Ghost to preach the word of Asia, the word in Asia. You mean China? Japan? You see what I'm saying, fam? You need to know what encompassed Asia at that time. And that they were actual churches in Asia, meaning in India, and all that region. I'll show you. Watch. Now, hold on. Here it goes. This is from the Lost Myths, the Lost Tribes of Myth. So IUIC, Snake the Snake, likes all of the other map, but he doesn't show this map. You see, because it takes the power away. You see here, family, there's several synagogues here. And there's even some that says like something Jews, like black Jews or something, right? Which I don't mind. It's cool. It's cool. Hey, listen, black don't mean willow black or woolly hair black. It means dark skin. Okay? Let's stop with this nonsense that you see black all of a sudden you think they're African. No, man, they're not. It's not like that. It doesn't always mean that. But you can see several synagogues here. Some that have a Jewish title, synagogue, something. Mongolia, Genghis Khan, 1319 AD, Jewish something. I had a clearer map. See? Jingchao Synagogue. So why are you telling Asian people that they're Moabites and Ammonites, every single one of them? And you're telling people from India that they're Elamites. And you're telling people from Arabia who actually had synagogues there that they're Ishmaelites, all of them. Oh, but Africa, that's all Judah. That's all Israel. Makes no sense. I'm going to show you this real quick. Description of the West Indies. Description. Oh, wait, hold up. 1620. Come on, I know I have it. What do you mean I don't have it? Description of the West Indies. Okay, fam, let me see if I can find it because this is not cool. Hold on, all right? Hold on a second here. I'm gonna have to get out of this page here. Bear with me, please. I have I thought I downloaded the page. I've shared this book several times. Well, no, actually I lie. I've shared it like in some classes. It's a 16 description of the West Indies 1620. Hold on. Description of the West Indies 1620. Bear with me, please. Description of the West Indies. Man. I thought I was prepared, fam. My bad. Description of the West Indies. Oh, you know what? I may actually have it here much easier. That's what I usually do. Yeah, I think I have it here. Okay, cool. All right. This is from the book called Description of the 1620, okay? So there's several materials I could read, but I'm going to get to the point. This is page 11. And it goes by like numbers, all right? So we see in these pages is mentioning the kingdom of Kivara, Straits of Anain, all right? It's giving you hints of, we've seen that in the maps, okay? Neither should we theorize and conclude crossed at the Straits of Anian. So they're like trying to figure out who these people are. Here it goes. This is 55. I'll read to 54. It says, and so the greater part of them kept traveling slowly across the great Tartary and other nations, God allowing and ordaining thus his own righteous judgment in his extended journey in a year and a half, as stated by Esdras, until they arrived at Mongol. And from there, they crossed the Straits of Anian and went on to colonize the countries of New Spain, beginning at the northernmost parts of it until with their wars, they searched for land that had colonized all of it. That's one opinion. Here's the other one. Ezra says that at the close of this extended journey, they colonized and lived in that region, which is called Arsareth. Okay? That very learned author, Genebrad, in book 1 of his chronology, states that Arsareth is the extreme point of Great Tartary, or Scythia. That is a cape of promontory, which is the boundaries or landmarks dividing the old world from the new. So I showed you guys this. Let me show you again. He's talking about this over here. See, he says Arsareth and Anian, right? Right there. Arsareth and Anian. Okay. Let me move this over here. Sorry, family. Damn mouse is pissing me off again, like a stupid mouse, like a real mouse that you can't control, has its own life. Anyways, so it says here, the old world to the new world, above the Straits of Anian, and near which they crossed from that country to New Spain. So they could have gone by that route or by India and China. Now, why are they saying that? Remember this map I showed you, okay? Don't forget the map that I showed you, because that map has a lot to do with your understanding. Now, keep in mind that I'm not here to tell people who they are or who they're not according to the Bible. All I'm saying is I'm finding this out. So they're saying that the Israelites could have crossed, it says here, it says, so they could have gone by that route or by India and China, since there in that region of Cathay, the people inhabiting that country keep the Old Testament and the laws of Moses, although with many superstitious besides. You see that? So here it's saying that several people here keep the laws of God, but were superstitions. So then why did the 10 tribes say, listen, we're among the heathens, man. We can't keep our laws. These guys like want to twist it around. Well, unfortunately, it kind of happened here, but we did our best. So anyhow, it says here, this is a full and sufficient proof that members of the 10 tribes passed through there and settled there, since that is clear from their observation of the law. You see that? And from there, they could easily cross the straits or channels which lie between China and the kingdom of Anian, as may be seen in the globes of maps. Or from the kingdom of Anian, they went on exploring and colonizing those countries of the New World never before seen or settled by human beings. You see what I'm saying? So why are people saying that all of a sudden, oh, no, no, there's areas in Africa that have been found. No, that's not true. They're saying that's not true. That's what they're saying. That is not true. All right, that's one. So now I'm going to show you this other one. So I confront every situation, right? And we find people that say, nah, you guys are heathens. Okay, cool. Let me see what you're talking about. Let me see what your opinion is of me or my heathenish ways. Let me see my heathen in you, right? I think that could be a song. So I went ahead and pursued to find out who they are too, So watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Let me see it real quick. I have it right here. I have to go way up because I thought I had that downloaded. I don't think I have it here. Let me see. Maybe I do. Nope. Oh, wait, no. Maybe I do. All right. This is from a book called The Jesuits and the Incas. Extraordinary Life of Padre Blas Valera, whatever. So this is his opinion. It says here, Peruvian history was a major theme in Velara's writings. His Historical Occidentalis, History of the West, appears to have included accounts of early origins of the Native Americans, or the Peruvians dynasties before the Incas, and of the Inca rulers themselves. Throughout the remaining fragments of his work is material pertaining to the history of the Western Hemisphere prior to the time of Incas. Hold on. Although most of Valera's writings about the pre-Inca people have been lost, portions of his history of American migration and the pre-Inca dynasty of Peru survived in his Relaciones de Costumbres Antiguas, as well as the works of Garcilaso, Montesino, and Anello Oliva. Valera vehemently rejected the notion that the American Indians were the descendants of the lost tribe of Israel. Common theory in the 16th century. 1609, right? Common theory. So people there, like, if they saw it, they're like, yeah, those guys are Hebrews. They gotta be. Look how they act. It's like, dude, that's gotta be a Mexican. Look at him. He's eating tacos. It's gotta be a Mexican. All right. So now go to page. Let's see if I'm looking for the right thing. I'm gonna go to page 95 first. Let me see. Is this 95 or 96? Hold on, fam. 96. Where you at? 95. Okay, 95. That's page 95. This is page 96. Oh, no, this is page 97. Come on, man. Get it together. 96. It says, few sections that remain of Valera's work on this subject. He apparently speculated, watch this, that the people of America originated from the ancient Chaldeans, who once lived in the plains of Shinar in the Persian Gulf. The chronicler wrote that the religion of the natives of Greater Florida and the Caribbean islands were derived from the practices of the Chaldeans, who worshipped only natural features such as lakes, springs, and stars. That's his assumption. Likewise, he claimed that the faith of the first Peruvians was molded on that of the Chaldeans. This is around 1594. Then he says, the Chaldeans were renowned in the biblical history of founding the city of Ur, from whence came Abraham, the father of the Hebrew nation. They were believed to have descended directly from Noah, and they became famous as learned astrologers, priests, and magicians. By linking the ancient Peruvians to the Chaldeans, Valera was placing the people of the New World into the framework of the biblical history. Now, why is that important for us to read? Here's why. Judith 5. What is this? Okay, Judith 5. Watch what it reads. They're asking about us. This other king. Okay, Holofernes. He's asking this other person about us. Sorry, I'm just telling you that like that. I just want to get to the point. Judith 5:6. It says, "These people are descendants of the Chaldeans." Let me read that again. So he responds to him by saying who we are. These people are descended of the Chaldeans, and they sojourn heretofore in Mesopotamia, meaning before them they were in Mesopotamia. Okay, they were in the Chaldees. Let's go back to map. Map time. Not nap time. Map time. Map time. Map time. Meaning this is Mesopotamia over here. Here, I'll give you a better one. Look, this is Mesopotamia over here. And this is the Ur of the Chaldees right here. Okay? So that's what he's saying. Give me a second here real quick. Oh, let me close this up. I don't want to lose my point. Where am I at? Hold up. 96, verse 5. It says, "These people are descendants of the Chaldeans, and they sojourn heretofore in Mesopotamia because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea," meaning all of that region, close to India too, or Asia. "For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven." So here we see that the Chaldeans left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven, the God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of the earth, of their gods, meaning the other people, that get out of here. Don't try to teach us those things. And they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. So that's why Valera, when he says, these guys aren't Jews, they're Chaldeans. Oh, really? While everybody else is telling him, listen, these are Hebrews, and you just really placed them right there in the same spot. It's like, dude, you just really helped us. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. That's why do you think, some people, there's a story that says supposedly he killed us Indians, supposedly, because we look like them, which I find it kind of interesting because I do find our people do. We do resemble people of India in those regions. I got brothers and sisters that look, Chaldean Arabic. I got brothers that are very dark skinned. That's just the way we are in my family. There's 10 of us, for God's sakes. And most of our so-called Hispanics, right, of this continent, we tend to spit out babies that have curly hair, straight hair, blonde hair, brown hair, dark hair, black hair, light skin, brown skin. Now, I tan very well in the summer. I'm gonna tell you that right now, man. I got a beautiful tan. I love when I tan, but I don't go do that now. I'm older, you know what I mean? When I was younger, I did that. So anyways, so far we see description of the Indies. So far we see Valeria, who's actually putting us with the Chaldeans as well. So now let's look at this real quick. I'm almost done, fam. I'm almost done, man. This is obviously our Sabbath. Lord willing, y'all are getting edified. Historia, what is it? Historia de México. Página 14. Watch this. I'm going to read it in Spanish. Okay? This is from Historia de México, página 14. Thank you, brother. Los indios somos israelitas. He hooked me up. Page 14. It says, "Pero si estos filicianos son ingeniosos, no lo son menos las que corresponden a las lenguas quechua y aymara, que proceden del hebreo y del caldeo." So it's saying that the Quechua language and Aymara language, which I'm going to show you later, is rooted of Hebrew and Chaldaic languages. Así resulta, al menos en muchos vocablos que tienen idénticas, because there's several words that are very identical. O análogas significaciones, pero por no fatigar el lector me limitaré a pocos ejemplos. So here he's giving us some examples. Los vocables México, Perú, cacique, cinita, canoa, macana, ana y racha viene de los hebreos masi. So you guys can read that page. Very interesting, right? So now it's saying that the Quechua and Aymar language has a, kind of like a relationship with Chaldean, the Chaldean language or the Hebrew language. Huh. Interesting. And the reason I keep showing you guys is because I'm talking about the migration. Migration, fam. Watch this real quick. All right. Who's seen this before? Are you guys familiar with this? Oh, sorry. My bad, bro. I wasn't reading. Oh, my bad, dude. If you guys are watching this, I wasn't paying attention, man. I apologize. I'll try to read it in a little bit, though. You're doing an excellent. Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. I'm not trying to ignore you, man. I'm just, when I get concentrated, bro, it's just the Most High. So here, check it out. So as you can see here, this is from India, a picture of India, people from India. Now, in case you guys don't know this, and see, this is where the Wabos have to really, really dig deep. See, you Wabos really have to dig deep. Voladores. And you also that claim that we're someone else. Well, I find it ironic that we tend to have a very similar customs that all the people that have come from that migration, big migration, the Indian migration and the Asian migration, which I don't mind embracing my so-called Mongol brothers if that's who they are. Y'all are dumb. You have no clue who you're dealing with. Look at this. Come on now, man.
Se nos olvidó traer unos vasitos.
Come on now, family. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. Are you gonna try to tell me that we're not the people of the book? Hold on. I'm gonna try to turn it on. Give me a second. Guess it didn't work. Oh, praises, it worked. So look at this, fam. You see? I'm not lying. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? So now we're getting some clarity as to like, where do we get these customs from, man? What are they gonna call us now? Edomites now? The deeper you dig and you push and you use their material, the easier it gets, family. Now, I'm not saying we're these people. I'm saying of the migration. Oh yeah, you have? Hey, I've actually dealt with them, bro. They're me personally, I've never had issues with, you know what I mean? Se han portado bien, man. So I don't know. The people I've dealt with, they have a different spirit, like very reasonable spirit. I can't argue about that. I don't know if there really are people, but to me, these things are like wow, bro, seriously. Yeah, they do. Los voladores de India. Yeah, you see? Nowhere else in the entire world do we have the similarity, but that's not even it. Dude, that's just the beginning. I have this book. Where is it at? Let me show you here real quick. Watch this. I will share this book to you, brothers, on our Telegram, but I'm just going to read this online. The Sacred Name, okay? Watch on the bottom what it says. I'm going to read that later, but on the bottom it says this. The word Jehovah is mentioned several times in the Rig Veda, which is the, I guess, where Sanskrit originated from, which is India. And it means where it means the mighty one, the all powerful. Okay. So I'm going to read you this book in a little bit, the world before Abraham. But look what it says here. The pronunciation. No, as a matter of fact, I'll read you this book first so you can see the hypocrisy of people, bro. So you can see how people try to say, oh, it was the Most High that gave us that name. We didn't know what it was. It was the, what's his name? Whoever, King David, Mashal, whatever. You guys are crazy, man. Watch this. Y'all just read a book. Look on the bottom. Look what it says here. It says here, the pronunciation Jehovah, unknown until 1520 AD, has no warrant except in the superstitious custom in accordance with which the Jews, to avoid the use of the sacred name, appointed with the word vowels, Lord. And then reading the scripture, substituted the latter for the former. Okay? So it's like you read that. To avoid the repetition of the latter, the Hebrews pointed to the former vowels of God, Elohim. 1520. Like, oh, okay. But see, we get the answer here. So in this book, it says here, the pronunciation Jehovah, unknown in Europe until the year 1520. Why? Has no warrant except in superstitious custom in accordance within the Jews to avoid the use of sacred name, printed Jehovah, or JHYVH, with the vowels of Adonai, Lord. And when reading the scripture, substitutes the latter for the former. The name became generally known and used in Europe shortly after the discovery of America. 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 You see this? So now you see the world of Abraham, right? That's what we just read right now. You see, in 1520, they had no clue prior to what the hell that word letter was. They come here and they find out. Just like that. It's not that hard. And see, family, that's why the Wobbles want to take your heritage, because they're losing the spiritual ground on the other tactic. Those are facts. Watch this. To approach the mysterious underlining, let's see if those is a no, I don't want it. That's something else. Okay. So we're digging a little deeper. Let me see if I can get this one. Pretty much done almost. Hindu, I think it's this one. Oh no, America. Let me see. Give me a second. I think it's this one. Here goes right here. This is from Tratan de México, or this is the book. Okay. Colección de libros raros o curiosos de Tratan de México como cuarto, Diego Andrés Rocha, Origen de los Indios. I don't know if this is from the brother, Los Indios Somos Israelitas, but if it is, bro, I appreciate you. I mean, sometimes I find books, bro, and I forget where I get them from. So, my bad. It says, I'm going to read it in Spanish. It'll be quick. Dice, tengo también observado para entender de que estos americanos, principalmente los de México, descienden de las 10 tribus, los prodigios de Dios, obró con ellos y las señales del cielo, que tuvieron significándoles el fin de su monarquía, y que Dios les entregaba a otras gentes y naciones. En México, cuando entró el gran capitán Cortés, se observaban 10 prodigios bien singulares que les indicaba el fin de su monarquía. Technically, it was 8 is what I found, but it says you're 10. Now, I have the material on this, but I don't want to do a class on that yet because this is a totally different topic. So I'm just trying to show you guys of these materials that actually say, look, let's go down here to the bottom. It says here, esto mismo sucede con las 10 tribus antes su destierro, como consta del libro 4 de Esdras, capítulo 9, al fin. donde dice se le apareció una mujer llorando de la destrucción de las. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's a different topic. That's another class I'm going to do. It's a beautiful class too, by the way. It's related to La Llorona, the real origin of La Llorona. That wasn't what I was looking for, family. Man, that really bothered me now. Oh, this one. That's right. Hold on. That was what I was going. Okay. Hold on. See. Is it this one? Page. Was it? Hold on. 126. Okay, watch this. This is from India Once Ruled America, page 126. How much more proof is needed to convince the skeptics? Just in case more is needed, more skeptical readers should all know that one of the principal Indian stronghold of Ayapa cults in the southern India near Pampa River. Therefore, we need not be surprised to find Pampas River in Peru and Chile. It says here in chapter 4. There's source there. We were really 10, not 8. Oh, okay. It says here in chapter 4, 1 mentions several Indians placed in caste names in Inca Peru. However, if more convincing examples are needed, I present Pujas, Manu, Pichak, Puno, and Ayacucho regions. In Sanskrit, these regions are in Peru. In Sanskrit, puja, honor, worship, Manu. Honor, worship. I'm sorry. In Sanskrit, puja means honor, worship. Manu means patriarch. Pichak, a savage tribe of people in the North India. Pune, a famous Indian city. Ayacucho, fortunate, lucky leadership caste. It's just, I mean, I keep running into this, man, and it's like we're all over the place regarding customs, things that we did like other people of other nations, so to speak, that were actually in our path. You can't deny that. And if we're really searching for who we are according to the Bible, you got to face it all. You can't be afraid of it. Let me see what's this. Hold on. Is this it here? Give me a second. I don't think this is the page I was looking for. Is this the page I was looking for? Hold on a second here real quick. Watch this real quick. And then I'll get to some scriptures again. I forget what page this is, but same book. An ancient Mexican legend tells us that charismatic prophet and chieftain named Meshi, Ixpatala, led the Mexica Mexicans from their land home of Mexcalitlan to Aztlan. He gave them religion, and one of the names of nations, Anahuac, near the capital of Tenochtitlan, was Mishak or Shiva speech, something to that effect. So you see what it says, Meshi, almost identical to the Hebrew word of Moses, who gave the Jews their religion. Moshe, like Moses and his children of Israel. It says Ish Ru'al. This Meshi led the Mexica out of bondage from Aztlan. However, the wandering of the Mexica lasted 80 years, not 40, as they did in Hebrew. So as you can see, look, there was also a North Indian nation, Music or Musica. Its citizens were Musicanos, musicians. You gotta stop denying who you got. All those people that we were here 3,000 years. Yeah, okay. Can you explain this to me? I bet you don't know who we got this from. I just showed you who we did. I just showed you. So I don't know if y'all still need some convincing. I got a little bit more, and then that's it. Oh, that was the book I was trying to show you. We're done on that one. Page 120. We're good on that. Showed you guys that other thing too. Oh, here it goes right here. The Aymar. Remember when I was telling you guys about the Aymar and Quechua tribe? This is the Ayaman, right? The Ayaman tribe. The Hirajara y Ayaman del pasado. The Ayaman. Okay? If you guys remember. Give me a second. You guys remember this? Ayaman, baby. Ayaman. And by the way, this map is Arabia Felix, showing Arabia Felix, which was where the king of Sheba was apparently ruling. But that's another topic because I'm going to show you there was two Ethiopian kingdoms, one in the east and one in the west. Yeah, they're trying to hide that from you too. So Ayaman, right? You see that Ayaman? All right, so watch this. Ayaman. Okay? And then I'm going to show you something. Hold on. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Joven India Gallón de El Cerrito. How's she look like, family? A beautiful, young woman of our people. Look at that. And I don't care what people say. I got nieces that are tan like her, that have straight like hair like her. So don't try to say she's black, like African. Joven India Gallón del Cerrito. Origen Gallón. And I'll bet you if I look through this map, I'll probably find Gallón in there too, without a doubt. It's time for you guys to stop observing. The kingdom doesn't come by observation. I'm gonna give you one little small one. Jairo Solima. Jairo Solima, se dice. That's Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Jairo Solima. So we're getting into some other stuff. But what I'm trying to show you is that we would have never gamed this way. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Come on, man. Stop it. Look, Chaldea right there. You see? The Ur of the Chaldees. So Valera says that we come from this region right here. This is the Ur of the Chaldees right there. Okay? Maybe even goes further down. Probably all this section here. Very close here. And just to show you, I want to rub it into these people's faces. My DNA comes from right here. R1B. Right here. 92% from the Americas as well. Praise to the Most High. That's just their science, not the Most High science. So as you can see, family, there's really nothing to be scared of, to be threatened by. Let these spirits, these heathens, do what they do best, which is yell and scream. That don't make them right. Let them. Let these wobbles try to get what they don't know any. Okay, for one thing, where's your diet? Where's your corn? Where's the maíz? And then you so-called converts, where's your unleavened bread, your spices and herbs? Where's your ceviche? Which ceviche is in the Bible, and I bet you guys don't know that. Yeah. Carne asada tacos is in the Bible. Masa is in the Bible. Wake up, my gente. You guys are the people of this book, for God's sake, man. Stop trying to run from people. There's source that we really 10, not 8. I don't know what you mean by that, bro, but I think I know what you mean. So what is it that they're trying to do, fam? What is it that they're trying to do? Here, I'm going to show you something real quick, okay? This is their doctrine. Hands down. 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. What they're trying to tell you is, this is why it's important for them to push Revelations 1:14. That the Messiah and God looks like them or an African, a Hamite, which they admit that Ham is black. And every source says that you guys are Ham. Live with it. Now, this I say, brethren, that the flesh cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. Huh. Really? In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Changed into what? You ask? Philippians 3:21. Who should change our vile body, that we may be fashioned like unto his glorious body? So they say that the Messiah, that Paul is telling the Philippians that the Messiah is going to change them into the way the Messiah looks like, which is why they emphasize Revelation 1:14 and 15. But they forget to read verse 16. And he had his right hand, and he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. Seems like a really bright image. Can't stare at it, can you? This is what we're at it again. I mean, shit. Sorry, just trying to tell you, we're at it again with these guys. So I got something to share with you guys. I'm pretty much done. Hope it was edifying. Let's listen to this real quick. And I got some other stuff.
Yo soy mexicana, dicen que soy ilegal. Pero si tú lees la historia, esta es mi tierra natal. Y tú, gringo americano, tú sí que eres ilegal. Porque yo soy mexicana, aquí me voy a quedar. Y aunque tú pongas la barda, yo me la voy a brincar. Por arriba o por abajo, ni cuenta te vas a dar. Diosito hizo la tierra para todos por igual. Se las dejó a Adán y a Eva, el paraíso terrenal. Y por su desobediencia nos puso aquí a trabajar. El mexicano no raja, él viene aquí a trabajar. Él no viene a tirar bombas, él no viene aquí a matar. Él viene a rajarse el lomo en el campo y en la ciudad. Dime, gringo americano, dime tú qué haces aquí. Si tú veniste de lejos, tú vienes de otro país. Si el mexicano es mojado, también tú lo eres aquí. Mi orgullo es ser mexicana y no lo voy a negar. Y hasta el cuero se me enchina cuando yo llego a escuchar las canciones mexicanas que a mí me hacen suspirar. Y viva México, y viva América, oh tierra sagrada de Dios. Viva México,
¡Cabrones!
Viva América, la Virgen ahí se quedó. Ya con esta me despido y aquí los voy a dejar. Y si la migra me agarra, yo me vuelvo a regresar. Y aunque los gringos no quieran, aquí me van en...
To that one, man. All praises to that one. I hope you guys like that one. I got another one real quick. Let's see what this is. Oh, yeah, I showed that already. It's all good. It's all good. Pretty much, I believe that's what we got. Let me see if I didn't leave anything out. Hold up. Let me see if I didn't leave anything out. Hold on a second. So I check these out. Oh, yeah, let me just kind of mention something, okay? Because look, this ancient history book tells us a little bit of this. So here you see Darius, who comes after Cyrus. Okay, so Darius comes after Cyrus, and this is when they take over, you know, the actual areas of the Egyptians and that sort of thing. So that is the only time that you can see where, excuse me, we could have gone through Egypt had Darius freed us. But Darius didn't free us. Cyrus freed us. And only in his realm we could have traveled. Egypt and Nubia were separate from us, and they were at war. There was no way to get around them. All right. Let's see what else. Let's see. I think you guys will like that. It's a nice picture. Right? This is also a path because it's a rocky area. It's pretty, like when the waters drop, you could see a little bit of it. But anyways, I'm just estimating here at this point. All right, and let's see. Oh, here's another thing. Why are we ignoring this? All of a sudden now we don't care about this anymore. Now none of it now none of this matters. Even though they're old pictures, you see Libyans, you see Asians, you see Egyptians, and you see Nubians. There was a difference. So these guys seems like they want to be these guys and these guys, but not these guys, because they say that they created those guys. If you only knew the conversations I have with my wife about DNA and all of that, I don't get into it. That's your thing. That's your guys' thing. Look, Nubians, Cush, Egyptians. So obviously you guys were different people too. This is not my business. But I do want to show you this, family, because if you guys remember when I was a morrito, right? Maybe you do, you don't. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está la foto? Oh, man, is that the one I forgot? All right. So I don't know if you guys remember, there was a game called this one right here. This game was called this right here. I don't know what they're calling it, but we played a similar game. Okay. We played a similar game. Burro 16 o el cochinito, algo así. And we would like do a countdown. We'll count up. 1, 2, patricos, 3, something 3, 4, 5, taquite brinco, stuff like that. So as you can see, it's a very similar, right? Jumping over somebody. The kid jumping over somebody. Here's a kid jumping over somebody. You see, family, you got to be mindful of where these customs come from. So you guys that are trying to take our heritage, how come you don't have any of these? Because what I keep seeing is this of you guys. That's what I see. Those are facts. What else do we got? I mean, shoot, Land of Ham was called what? Dark-skinned people? The Garden of Eden or something? Kingdom of the Sky or something like that? Cushites, hello. Oh, another thing here. So, family, this is from one of our pyramids. Oh, no, one of the sculptures, right? But I want to point something out. This right here. Where are you, man? Come on. Oh, this. You see, this guy, if you put it upside down, he's got a beard. This guy has a beard right here. Okay? It's little stuff, but I want to point it out. Here's America. America. I have an old map, but I'm going to save that for another class. Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man, for those books. I have the one, but I didn't want to go further into the class. I was going to show you that one. This one here. The Cristóbal Colón, Salvador de Madriaga. It talks about the actual second Esdras as well. Let me see. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. Oh, yeah. So check this out.
GoDaddy is a partner that always puts you first. Start today at GoDaddy.com.
Suppose you want to go and sit there.
This is why, like, for example, look at this man right here, right? Oh, this is just a commercial. But look at this man. He's dark-skinned. Is he African? No. He's from India. All right, watch.
Use the mantra.
Today I'm going to be exposing
Listen to what he says.
Afrocentrics
She says,
who
I'm
they
sorry.
really are. Most racist, ignorant people on the planet. Enough is enough. Ever since I went online, not African.
Started attacking this young girl, dude. Straight calling her names like that. Saying Egyptians and Arabs. Those aren't your artifacts, you Arab that invaded Egypt. Why do you think y'all look like Arabs? Iranians, Afghans, even Turks. It even goes against the Muslim religion. This is funny to me. Amunia Sharia Israel. Why do you even care? But look at her. That's what you are, an Arab. Nothing. You make you Egyptian. You don't fit. You were born and raised there because your ancestors invaded the black land. Why do you care? But you're about Israel. What the hell? You guys call yourself Israelites, but you care about Africa? Africa's not of Israel. You Arab invaders should mind your own business. Go back where you come from. Damn. Very similar, right, fam? Modern Egyptians are not descendants. You're lying. No, and no African Americans need revenge. They are still in a cross war that everyone created over fucking metal, white, whatever. Okay. But you put your straight, oh, here goes. You put your straight haired, Nero Rome Latin, lacking, tailbone coccyx having, she called her a dog, Centennian ape, an animal, had to be taught how to bathe your ass, self in everyone's history. You whitewashing the pyramid as we speak, discussing creature, you're an agent of Satan. Are you guys listening to this? If this was a so-called white man, what would be happening? But because they're black, it makes it okay. You know what this reminds me of? This is why I'm telling you, family. I'm telling you, these people are not your people. They have the same spirit. They will always have this spirit towards them and towards us. That's just how they are. That's how they roll. Look, I'll show you. Let me show you. You see, the scriptures say, Ecclesiastes 1:9, right? What has passed is here now, and what is here now will happen again. I'm gonna show you the spirit. This was a long time ago. And even then, this is how they think about everybody else. So it doesn't surprise me why the Europeans do what they do now. No wonder they don't want to give you even an ounce of power. We saw and we're seeing what you're doing even without it, so to speak. This is from the Golden Ages of the Moor, page 336. It says, and I'm going to, this is to show you that you guys, all the Phoenicians, that you are part of this Psalms 83. Watch. This is when you invaded Europe. And one of your writers, scholarly writers, who sympathized with the whites over there, wrote this about you guys, how he visualized you guys. He says, the reins of their horses were as fire, their faces black as pitch, their eyes shone like burning candles. Isn't that like that black Jesus, dark as hell with red eyes? Watch this. Their horses were as swift as leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in a sheepfold at night. Habakkuk 1:8. Their horses are swifter than leopards, and they're more fierce than the evening wolf. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from afar. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. So then it says here, Habakkuk, that you guys would be that way too. Here, this was 1,300 years ago, and when this was written, or at least when this was coined, it was written 1,300 years after it was prophesied. And we see it again. And you know who said this, or who asked it? Who was going to come as an eagle with their horses, as swift as leopards, and fiercer than the evening wolf? Watch this. The whites in those Iberian countries were not viewed in favorable light. They were near animals than men. They're by nature unthinking, and their manner crude. Their bellies protrude. Their color is white, and their hair is long. In sharpness and delicacy of spirit and intellectual perspicacity, they are nil. Ignorance, lacking of reasoning power, and boorishness are common among them. The Moors had a particularly low opinion of these whites. They had beaten them often in the battlefields and with inferior numbers. Even the Europeans and other countries of this continent were looked down upon with disdain for low intelligence and base ways of life. The palaces of the rulers of Germany, France, and England were, when compared with those of Moorish rulers in Spain and Portugal, scarcely better than the stables. See that? And yet you guys are saying, but you put your straight-haired, Nero Rome and Latin, lacking, tailbone coxing, having, sentiment ape, had to be taught how to bathe your ass. That sounds like eugenics. I think the white man's just getting back at you guys because of how evil you treated them. I mean, vengeance is of the Lord. I know that for a fact. Nothing but to talk about it. Look, there's more. It's disgusting, family. Because look, and yet they're over here in America asking for reparations. We, right? Idiotic, desperate white Arab. Show us a picture of King Tut, you stupid hoe. I don't know this girl. Pale face, pink orange hybrid, sunburnt Arabs, albino trash, invaded Africa. Original Egyptians, Hebrews, Moors were melanin race. See that? This guy's a super confused idiot. That history facts fool, Arab trash invaded North Africa. So we call white people albinos, invaded America, cave motherfuckers. So we're apparently not the only ones. This person's in over there in Egypt. Another Arab from Yemen with this big eyes and big lips of Ishmael. Go back to Mecca, dear, where you DNA traced. So, is this a white girl? False white bullshit. You people are Arab invaders. Recognize Negro features, but even then I can see you. You did what your kind always does: lie, cheat, steal, rape, pillage, and destroy. After that, you moved in and assimilated into the culture, but that doesn't make you yours. Egypt is in Africa. You won't really try to have people think that the people of ancient Kemet were pale people who can't even withstand today's sun, let alone back then when it's much hotter. What do you mean? They live there. Have several seats in back with your other short bus Swatis. I bet you got sunscreen on right now. Where was your outrage when they made gods of Egypt and made all them white except Tot? Exactly. You're really this stupid? Egyptians are not light skinned, you ignorant Persian. Go play your disgusting tricks elsewhere. You look in the mirror, the face that is staring at you is Persian. That's why you pray to a Muslim god discussing Persian. You're not an indigenous African. Your skin were carried there. Your kin were carried there. But she put a cool video at the end. And I want you guys to... Yeah.
Why do project management tools still make you feel like this? There's a better way to work.
And he's going to bring out a book that I'm going to bring out another day. And it's an interesting book. Hold on. Okay, not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. I'm almost done, family. Let me close some windows. Not that. I'll close this one. Close this one too. Okay. Señorita, hasta luego. All right. It's called what is it called? Hold up. I'm almost done, fam. I'm almost done. A little bit long. A little bit more. Oh, what the hell? Anyways, let's listen in.
By appropriating other people's cultures and stealing from other people's.
What they have produced is a therapeutic mythology designed to restore the self-esteem of Black Americans by creating a past that never was. You niggas never was ancient Egyptians. You niggas never were the ancient Egyptians. You weren't the Native Americans. You're not the Moors. You're not none of that shit. You're a tropical African. You're a sub-Saharan African. That's it. Be happy with that. And start teaching your own people's history. and culture. Leave these other people's history alone. I'm sick of hearing about fucking ancient Egypt. That wasn't you. You niggas did not build the pyramids. You guys didn't put together the Sphinx. You didn't do none of that shit.
Intelligent.
Oh, that's funny. So here's the book that he's talking about. It's called We Can't Go Home Again, right? And hold on, borrow now. I'll just read it. It's a short paragraph. Hold on, let's see where you're at. Oh, come on, man. Did I return it? Okay, maybe I did. Dummy. Okay, here it goes. Oh, come on, dude. Really? All right, here it goes right here. Is it this one? No. I think chapter 1. Here it goes. Right here. Page 1 or prefix. This little book is an intervention in the debates of Afrocentrism. It offers a critique of focus in Afrocentric discourse on Egypt called Kemet, in this case, right? But we're getting it now with Hebrewism, converts. Check it. It says, both as Black civilization and as a progenitor of Western civilization. It's true. In making this argument, I steadily acknowledge that Afrocentrism is a popular form of Black cultural nationalism. What this text does is raise questions about Afrocentrism as a form of historical consciousness. Although some of its advocates may claim that Afrocentrism is history, the method by which its proponents reach their conclusions are not historically rigorous. True that. The scholar who calls himself Afrocentrist have not written history in the strictest sense of terms. What they have produced is a therapeutic mythology designed to restore the self-esteem of Black Americans by creating a past that never was. Come on, man, shoot it. Yeah, huh? Go figure. Go figure. Anyhow, family, that's all I got. I hope it all makes sense. I hope it's edifying. As you can see, we got a lot of documentation to prove, and there is no way that we would go dangle ourselves in this particular type of lynching opportunity that would go against us. Plus, on top of the fact that there's already mountainous ranges that we would have to cross back when we already knew that several people in Samaria were not our people, which were being replaced, like here. It's like people aren't going to go back to Texas, man. If you kicked them out 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it's not the same. It says that we further country where never mankind dwelt. And several materials showed, like for example, in this area, it belonged to Arphaxad, okay? And then Arphaxad, it also belonged to Joktan. There's maps that show that. Here, I'll show you real quick, and then I'll end it with that. Joktan. I knew I was going to forget something. Here goes. So you see, it says Yucatan, right? Right there. Okay. Second here. That's not it. Hold on. Let's just say Yucatan. I have a map, and I guess I can't find it now, family. Maybe I'll look for the map. Hold on. One last one. Oh, here it goes. Map of Yucatan. Okay, cool. Sounds good. You see how it says Yucatan? Okay. And then it says here Joktan. 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 And as you can see, the Persia Empire. He also took care of this part here. All right. Keep that in mind. And then when the Bible keeps saying Asia, 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 why are we ignoring that? Anyhow. All right, cool. Sounds good. Lord willing, man, y'all doing well. Hopefully it all makes sense. All praise to the Most High that you guys made time today for class, man. I appreciate you guys sticking around. And if you guys have any questions, man, you guys want to post something, I'll stick around for like a couple more minutes. If you guys don't, it's all good. Okay. Let's see what we got. If not, I think that's it, man. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm just gonna call it a night, fam, because it's almost 10 o'clock my time, and I want to spend the rest of the Sabbath with my family. Well, at least tonight, because tomorrow, obviously, we got a whole morning too. So shalom, everybody, man. I appreciate you guys very much. I love the fact that you guys are sticking around and getting edified, man. And take notes, take all the information you can get, and all praise to the Most High, man. We actually enjoyed our Sabbath. Nobody came here to bug, because it wasn't really about debating anybody even before. I just posted the link to talk to you guys, and a stranger came in. Go figure. Anyhow, okay. So with that being said, let me end it with this, and then we'll be good to go. Give me a second. Oh yeah. Sorry guys, I just really like this song. So anyways, shalom everybody. Peace and blessings to you all. Hopefully you appreciated this class.
Helpful.
Shalom.
Miras a otro lado, los fantasmas del pasado no se detendrán hasta verte derrumbado. Peores lo hemos pasado. Andaba a golpes con la tristeza, me aportó riqueza, me otorgó sabiduría, pues se dibujaba en todas mis piezas. Yo con alegría le daba color después. La aguja sigue girando, tiempo parece se burlar de mí. Dijo que sanaría esperando, pero creo que la espina aún sigue ahí. Con los dedos no voy palpando, cierro los puños, escapa de aquí. Agonizando, no me espera el tiempo, no voy a esperar por ti.
Nuestras huellas en la orilla se han borrado por la marea. Si esas estrellas ya no brillan, las entiendo pa' que veas. Sea donde sea, bajo la tormenta o dentro de la odisea, donde arañas cubren el cielo de tela, los aviones nadan y los barcos vuelan. Aunque parezca que va bien, no sabes bien si va mal. Besos que pueden doler, ojos que pueden matar. Tengo mi alma en el almacén encerrada, mi corazón está en huelga, mis sentimientos en ámbar. Gente, Calamala dijo que estaría presente. Fallaron como nunca, se fueron pa' siempre. Millones razones pa' vengarme, pero a veces duele más actuar indiferente.
Como no quieren ver ahogados, tenemos branquias y cerrados los bronquios como la mente de un guardia. Yo soy la montaña y vine con la cordillera. Más cojones que tu ganga tiene una madre soltera. Tú cúbrete si suena mi tu. A mí la tengo soldado fumando de su palulú. Y un conjuro de grimorio me lo salva del velorio. Pa' tener pila valorio, se matan vestidos de emporio. Y yo no quiero una pistola, estoy soñando que la vida que quería me llega a tiempo. Desde que yo la vi sola, loco ando. Vino a verme cuando el sol se estaba poniendo y se dejó una pluma y se perdió en la bruma. Nunca se despidió de mí, nunca se despidió de mí.
Vivo en un mundo que parece roto y sé que no, porque todo es perfecto y lo debo plasmar. Me fumo un trócolo tras otro y lo veo todo otro color. Me siento libre porque vuelvo a conectar. Mi gente Arda y por dentro la llama, no puedo contener la ras. Churruscao el corazón, el armazón no puede llegar a pesarme más. Si abro la boca, tu tumba al suelo, me muelo a diario y sobrado de gas. Escupo ristas perfectas, paladas de versos eternos, no mueren jamás. Cuando acabe mi condena, me vi muy solo y perdido. Cada vez más negra la flema, más elegante el problema, pero planté cara a todos mis enemigos. Recuperé las ganas, las fuerzas y el garbo. Dedico requiems a mis diablos, que aquí estoy vivo de milagro. Delicadas flores crecieron entre los cardos. Me dicen bien, es más delgado que de costumbre. Será de tanto que he bailado en el alambre, que a tanta pena es mejor no ponerle nombre. Llevamos la música en vena, nuestra sangre.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.